It's Friday, the weekend starts here. It's a real wacky show where anything goes.
Yeah, boobs.
Yeah. I could be in The Greatest Showman too. Funhouse twins are prostitutes. Country roads, take me home. I can't believe you kiss your cock at night. You don't have to do the shaking of the face, but...
I enjoyed the shaking of the face, to be fair.
It's a bit weird.
That's my favourite bit.
I go, did you shag him? I go, yeah, and the mother.
Here we are, Sandra Crisell ruining your childhood memory.
And she used to just stir it out the back with an old wooden stick, and splinters used to come off it. Sorry, kids. It was beyond my control. And he had the limp because of the one shoe. Humpty Dumpty. Walking back to happiness. La, 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 yeah. I think they peed in it as well.
I feel like I can start a cult and you're going to be my first member.
No. No? My job being called a cult.
Hello and welcome to Soundtrack to My Soul. Today we have lovely Pat Sharp being taken on his musical journey through his life. How you feeling?
Well, thank you, but I'm not sure I'm so lovely at my age now. 57 now, so I'm an old boy.
To be fair, you look well good for 57, and that's not me being a creep, that's just like a fact. Doesn't he look amazing for 57? Yeah, I would have knocked at least a decade off that.
No, there's a filter on these cameras.
No, seriously. Right? So, Pat, camera off done. All right, so, you know what happens. We're going to have a little chat about your life, the important and exciting things that have happened so far, and the songs that we're playing that will take you right back to that point.
Okay.
So let's start right at the beginning. Let's talk about Mr. and Mrs. Sharp, the parents.
Okay.
Who are your mum and dad?
Well, my mum is Jill and my dad was Michael. He's not around, hasn't been around for many years, sadly, but my mum is still rocking it, aged 89.
Amazing.
And she's doing pretty good, and she always asks me about my gigs and this and that, and watches things and listens to me on the radio and watches bits and bobs on the telly, so yeah.
Cool, your mum's got to be your biggest fan.
Yeah, I suppose so, yeah. You should go back there. They were very good to me, my parents, from the point of view that when I was younger, even though I went to private school all my life, I went to a wonderful school, prep school called Alpha, and then I went to a famous public school called Merchant Taylors.
Oh, okay. Public school boy.
Yeah, so absolutely.
I wouldn't have known that about you.
Exactly. And most people still think, really? But yeah, I went to public school, and I came out of this private education of many years with 1 O-level.
Okay. In what?
English.
All right. That's fine.
It's good for what I did and do.
Yeah.
But they were right behind me because even though they paid all these school fees all these years, I think that they still believed that I wanted to do what I wanted to do, and that was to be basically on the radio.
So what did your parents do then for them to be able to fund you going through public school?
Well, my dad was a marketing consultant, so he was very creative. He would, write copy and take photographs and make brochures and do films for companies and things.
Oh, amazing.
And he was also an artist. He could paint oil paintings and draw really well. And he used to do cartoons for me with little bubble captions every night when I came home from somewhere. There'd be like one on my bed, you know.
How much did your parents love you?
Yeah, they were.
That's a lot.
They were pretty cool. And my mum, she was a housewife and helped my dad in his business. But before she met him, she was at RADA. So she trained and went to RADA with people like Lionel Jeffries, who was in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Joan Collins was in the Girls. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. She was in some of the early St. Trinian's movies as well.
Really?
Yeah, waving her hockey stick all across. Yeah.
Amazing. So have you got siblings?
Yeah, I've got two sisters. Yeah.
Okay. Older, younger?
They're older. I'm the baby.
Okay.
I'm the baby.
So they might not have been getting the little hand-drawn cartoons, just you.
No, I think it was just me who got that, yeah.
Whereabouts did you grow up?
Grew up in Stanmore in Middlesex, North London, and had a nice childhood, as I say, from the point of view that I was at good schools and they weren't too rough, so I was all right. But I played
survived.
I played quite rough though, because I played rugby to quite a high standard.
Okay.
And I even played some junior rugby and stuff at Harlequins Rugby Club, which is sort of a feeder to other clubs that lead on to people playing for England. I was ball boy for England games at Twickenham and stuff, because my uncle was the secretary of Harlequins, so I ended up playing quite a lot of rugby and cricket to a fairly high standard as well. So, yeah, I did okay. But school wasn't really for me from the point of view that I wasn't very academic. I only wanted to get out and play records and have a mobile disco and be a DJ and everything else.
Living the dream.
And that's where my parents were great because they said, you know, don't worry about the 1 level. You know, it's taught you a lot about life. And if you want a mobile disco, then that's what you must go and do. And if you want to be on the radio.
You had the perfect parents.
Yeah, they sound amazing, right?
No, they were great, but I think me and Monica are the perfect parents.
Obviously. So, do you know what was number 1 the day you were born?
Do you know what? I do because someone sent me a newspaper on I think it was my 50th birthday, and it had those details on it. I think it was Helen Shapiro and Walking Back to Happiness.
That is correct.
Walking back to happiness. Oh, wow. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
It's the honey and lemon working for me today.
And the whiskey.
Do you know who else has got the same birthday as you?
Yes.
Go on then.
Nick Hancock.
Not on the list, but I believe you.
Yeah.
All right, so Katy Perry. I know who that is. She's got the same birthday as you. Got Natasha Khan from Back to Lashes. I'm only going to read out people that I know because...
Okay. Do the young people then, yeah? All right.
Yeah.
Poor Nick.
Chad Smith from the Red Hot Chili Peppers has the exact same birthday as you.
Exact same one.
Exact same one.
Not almost, but exact.
You could be long-lost twin brothers.
Except he probably looks better than me.
Oh, stop, Pat. Stop fishing. You know you're a dreamboat. Come on.
Well, I'm a boat.
What is your earliest musical memory? Was there lots of music going on in your house when you were growing up?
Don't remember a lot of music in my house growing up. I remember some music that, from the point of view that my dad had a nice sound system, as such as you called it, with an amplifier and a cassette deck and then a record player and everything. And he would play stuff like the Carpenters.
I love the Carpenters.
So my earliest memory was probably Karen Carpenter's voice.
Yeah.
And to this day, I still think it's amazing that her songs, if you put them next to a song of today, the production is just fantastic. Her voice and the quality is superb.
So is there a specific song? Carpenter's song that you put on your playlist?
Yeah, I think probably something like Yesterday Once More.
Oh, yeah. Nice choice, nice choice.
I mean, I went on to use it as a jingle because the start of it, the lyrics are, when I was young, I listened to the radio waiting for my favourite song. When it played, I'd sing along. And I used that and then went into the song that I was playing on the radio. So,
nice.
Yeah, so I think people used to think that I was just cutting the Carpenters short, but it was a jingle.
What kind of kid were you like at primary school? Were you a good kid when you were really little? Do you remember? What have you been told about yourself if it's not like a direct memory?
When I was at my prep school, I was there from age 4, so I think I was okay from a point of view that I, played the game a bit, but I was never very bright, so I didn't, I wasn't. You're not looking at the sharpest tool in the box, pun on name.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't really bright,
But isn't that good though? Because I always think, like, when I have children, I'd like them to be like really good looking and like a little bit dumb, because I feel like those people have the best lives. Because you're a bit special if you're really good looking, but also if you're like a little bit dumb, stuff doesn't bother you as much.
No, I don't think it bothered me until I got to my common entrance and thought, now I need to really buckle down a bit, because if I don't pass this, I'm not going to get to my next school. And I didn't want to go to the rough school round the corner that my parents threatened me with, because they said, if you don't poke your ways up, you'll end up at the school where they put people's heads down the toilet. And that was my thought. Oh no, I don't want to go there. That'll ruin my hair.
So who was influencing what you were listening to? Was it literally was there a favourite radio presenter that you were really into?
Well, absolutely. I was into the guys who were on Capital at the time, where I went on to work, which was amazing to go on and work. And I worked with the people I grew up listening to.
That's fantastic.
I worked with people like Kenny Everett and Roger Scott and Alan Freeman, who are all no longer with us, and ended up being on the station with them after trying to phone into their shows and be on their competitions. And I was a devoted fan.
So their choices were what influenced your taste, do you think? Or was there someone else that was influenced that you kind of thought, oh, this guy's quite cool, I'll listen to what he's listening to? Or were you kind of told about music?
No, when I listened to, I was going to say, if I listened to the radio, there were certainly songs that I loved and would record onto my cassette and whatever. But
waiting to press play.
Well, yeah, but the thing was, most of the time, I was the other way around. I was waiting to cut out the songs to record the DJs and the jingles.
Oh, wow.
So whenever you hear of somebody with a chart show thinking, if I press pause now, I'll get the whole song without the DJ and without all the jingles and the travel, I was the other way around. I'd sit through the song and wait to record the DJ and the jingles.
Wow.
And there are other people in my business who would admit to that as well. Because I was more interested in being a DJ and having my own mobile disco and getting on the radio than I was in actually in music.
Oh, wow. So what was the first song you learnt all the words to? There must have been some songs that caught your attention.
Humpty Dumpty.
Oh, come on. Actual songs. Humpty Dumpty is a good answer, to be fair. And there probably is a Humpty Dumpty we can put on Spotify, so that's going on the playlist.
He's the one who sat on the wall.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
He had a really big fall. That's the one you're looking for.
Yeah, okay, great.
Did he die?
No, because all the King's horses and all the King's men put Humpty Dumpty back together again.
Put Humpty together again.
Yeah, I know, but they're still trying. Yeah, so he's still very active. Gosh, song-wise, I don't know. I suppose I just started liking pop songs. The first pop songs I can remember liking were pop records, were glam rock records.
Love a bit of glam rock.
Yeah.
I'm all about glam rock.
And I was really into...
Like T-Rex, The Sweet, that kind of stuff.
Oh, gosh, yeah. And I was really into... My hero was ALVIN Stardust.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He lived in Stanmore.
Okay.
I would stand outside his house... And he had a black BMW with black windows.
Right.
And if you remember ALVIN Stardust, which you probably won't because you're too young.
He was a bit of a fake Elvis looking.
Yeah, he had a big
sideburns
down there, all black, jet black hair. And he'd been a pop star beforehand in sort of the 60s.
Okay.
And then he'd come back as this new alter ego, and he wore black gloves with a big ring on the outside. Amazing. And he went things like this. He went on top of the pops. And he never smiled. He didn't come on and go, hey. He just went. He was very. So anyway, I waited outside his house, and one day his car came out, and then the black window was like this, and it went. And it went down, and there was ALVIN, but I didn't see his face. His hand came out, and he went, and he was wearing the glove while he was driving, and he went. Sorry, I just realised how bad that is. But he was doing that, and with his and I saw the ring, I went home and told my mum and dad that life was complete.
Amazing.
I didn't need to go back to school. I've seen ALVIN.
How old were you at this point?
Probably, I would say ALVIN was 72, 73 his hit, so about 11 or 12.
11 or 12. What song of ALVIN Stardust was your favourite song? Or is?
Gosh, it's hard to tell because I liked so many of them. I really did. I suppose his first couple were great. My Cuckoo and Jealous Mind.
My Cuckoo,
that was number 2. Jealous Mind was number 1. Oh. And then he had songs like Red Dress. I like Red Dress a lot.
Red Dress.
Who's the girl dancing in the red dress?
Yeah.
I want to form a lover, so get her up, get her up. Yeah, that's great. I love that one.
Yeah. I know that. And those are actually songs that have stood the test of time because I know them and I'm an 80s kid.
Well, I don't know if they stood the test of time. You don't really hear them on the radio. Even on a classic station, you won't hear them. On an oldie station, you know.
Well, I heard them. You know.
ALVIN will crop up on a Pick of the Pops because he's in the chart on that day.
Right, okay.
But it's not really the sort of stuff that gets played. Glam rock doesn't get played enough on the radio. There's not enough. I loved, Mud and Sweet and all these bands.
I reckon it's due a massive resurgence. So I was like a 90s kid hanging out in Camden and it was all about glam rock, bit of rock.
Really?
Because it was kind of that. And the way that kids now are into 90s music, I was into 70s music.
I would love that because that is my, it's the music that I don't really get a chance to play at any of my gigs, really, but I would love to play it.
Well, be the start of the trend.
Yeah,
70s fashion's massively in, 70s
people
decor. I mean, look at this place.
Yeah, but the people who come to my gigs, they won't know it. That's the problem.
That's all right, educate them.
If I stick on Ballroom Blitz, people will just...
Massive tune!
I love it. That drums at the start of them.
Ballroom Blitz.
And that did get a resurgence, that song, in which 90s movie?
Wayne's World.
Yeah.
Cassandra.
Tia Carrera.
Yeah.
Cassandra.
Yeah. I love Wayne's World.
Wayne's World was my kids grew up going, excellent. And my final ever show on Capitol, because I had loads of drops from Wayne's World, because I met Mike Myers and he did me loads of personal drops.
Amazing.
Yeah. So my final ever show was on Christmas Eve 1996 on Capitol Radio, and I finished, as I always would have done on a Friday, by going, see you Monday, and I did that, and I went, see you Monday, and then hit the jingle, and it went, not. Which I loved.
And that was it.
Yeah,
You were done.
and he went into the news.
Brilliant.
It was a great way to end.
What a legend. Fucking wicked.
And it was actually him doing it because he used to do, you know, he went like Pat Sharp on Capital. Excellent. Not. So he did me loads of drops. I still got them somewhere.
Oh, that's brilliant. Were you trying to like dip into the old fashion of the glam rock? Were you kind of rocking a platform?
I did. Oh,
you did?
yeah.
Did you have a phase?
We bought, me and my mate Gary, we bought platform shoes
Amazing.
to go to Barton Children's Holidays. We went on Barton-on-Sea near Bournemouth,
Yeah.
and we were going to spend the summer there, and we said we've got to have high heels and massive flares that cover right over the front of them. So we bought these high heels, and I remember Gaz didn't have enough money, so he wanted to nick them. So... do you remember the old shoe
Naughty
shops?
Gaz.
Yeah, you remember the old shoe shops? Well, I don't know if they still do this in the shoe, but they used to have shoes outside.
Yeah.
But they would only have one.
Yeah.
So Gaz walked inside with one and then worked out some sort of scam that if they bought the other one out, he could say, oh, I need the other one because I didn't get the one for the front, I put it back. So he had three. And then he realised that if they had three, he could put one back and give one back to the sales assistant and still walk out with two.
Smart.
Well, it was smart until he realised that he couldn't walk in them, so he certainly couldn't run. I remember going to cafes with my mates, like the service stations on our motorbikes when we got about 17, and my mate would get to the end of the till and go, nothing for me, thanks, and he had all sugar from a donut around his mouth.
So what was the first single you bought? Do you remember what the first one was? Okay.
Yes. I distinctly remember it was on DJM Records and Tapes, and it was by Sir Elton John, who wasn't a Sir at the time, and it was called Crocodile Rock.
Amazing. That's a great song. So, was there any artists that your parents didn't approve of? Or anything that they were like, nah, leave it out?
Well, in a way there was, but they only didn't want me to turn into them.
Right.
And that was the Sex Pistols.
Okay.
And I loved the Sex Pistols.
Yeah. Specific song of theirs that they were...
Oh, everything. God Save the Queen. Pretty Vacant is fantastic.
Yeah.
That's the no. Just the start of that is great. And I felt that I was just a rebel by liking the Sex Pistols.
Right.
And I can distinctly remember the morning that Sid Vicious had died in prison. It was the front page of the paper and everything. And my mum took great satisfaction in saying, well, your Sid Vicious is dead. In other words, we can stop this nonsense now.
So, teenage anthem? What would have been like you going out with Gaz, going out nicking boots and eating donuts for free?
Well, Gaz was nicking the boots and John was nicking the donuts. I was the good boy who just went, oh, I don't think you should do that. But if you are, can you get one for me?
Yeah, right.
I think probably an anthem for me was something like either Teenage Kicks by the Undertones.
Yes, amazing.
Which of course was John Peel's song that's on his gravestone with the lyrics. And Tom Petty, American Girl.
Nice. Both very nice. So, you were there, you were hanging out with Gaz and John, a naughty crew, but not quite the naughty one, chatting up birds, doing your thing. Is there a song that reminds you of like your first crush or first girlfriend? First love?
Totally. Well, this will take me back to the holiday camp, to Barton.
With your boots?
Well, yeah, Gaz had only one. He had to walk like this because he only got away with one. I can remember us having big flares and big shoes, and then I met two sisters from Leeds, Gillian and Helen Baker.
Okay, full names.
Yeah, oh yeah, they deserve a mention. Nice girls. They were.
All right.
And I was best mates with their brother Simon.
Okay. Simon Baker.
Yeah, Simon was a cool guy, but his sisters were gorgeous. Right. And I hadn't really seen a woman because I went to all boys school.
Of course, yeah.
So the holiday camp thing was like really exciting for me because there was like females there.
Yeah. How old were you at this point?
Oh, 28. No, I must have been, first time I went up to the holiday camp, I was probably 13 or 14.
Okay, right, yeah.
And then I think these two goddesses from Leeds turned up with this different accent and freckles and everything. They had all these things I hadn't seen before. And it was like really exciting. And I went, wow, I don't know which one I like the best. So yeah, I remember dancing with the aforementioned young ladies, but also because it was at this international holiday camp, there were loads of people there from other countries.
Oh, wow.
So I also met Dianora and somebody, Frescobaldi from Italy.
So you were just being a proper lad, pulling loads of birds at your camp.
Trying, yeah.
Writing their names down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always remember that. It's really weird. 'Cause I can't remember what I had for lunch yesterday, but I can remember Dianora Frescobaldi.
Yeah, that's a great name.
Yeah, she was great. I'm not sure Gillian and Helen thought a lot of her. Yeah. Rival on the scene, you know. Hey, Italiano girl, look at her. She was like cool. So I got to know these young ladies. But the song that I can remember the feeling of doing the first slow dance and thinking, oh my God, this is so weird. I'm like really close to this girl now.
Boobs.
Yeah, it was great. And it was by the Chi-Lights called Have You Seen Her?
You're going to need to sing me a little bit.
Seen her everywhere I go. The picture show. Have you seen her? Tell me, have you seen her?
Yeah, okay, yeah. I know.
It was actually covered by MC Hammer.
Was it?
Yeah. But
Nice.
it's a lovely, lovely song to this day. Yeah, it's a beautiful song.
Good memories,
Yeah.
good times.
Yeah.
So who was the first artist you actually saw live?
The first gig I ever saw was actually before that. It was a rock gig in probably '75, I should think, and I was about 14, and it was Peter Frampton.
Okay.
Who sang "Show Me the Way," and he actually wrote a song which has been covered by lots of people, which is "Baby I Love Your Way."
Oh,
That's a Peter Frampton song, covered by various other people, which is more famous for now.
Yeah.
Will to Power and somebody else as well.
There's
Baby,
like a
I Love
reggae
Your Way.
version,
Yeah,
isn't there? Yeah.
And that was his song. And "Show Me the Way" was a great song. And then he had a double live album called "Frampton Comes Alive." And I remember going. See him at Wembley and just thinking, this is amazing. Look at all the colours and the lights, and it's so loud. And I knew then that was sort of what I wanted to do, you know. And I've DJ'd and played on the stage at Wembley, the O2, not just Wembley Arena, but Wembley Stadium. So you know, so I've kind of been in all those things now. So I kind of knew that was what I wanted to do,
Right,
even if it wasn't.
Pick stars in your eyes.
No, even if it wasn't as an actual musician, it was certainly I had to be on that stage going, here it is. This is a show.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, and I loved that.
So what's the best gig you've ever been to?
Probably one of mine.
All right. Best song of the night?
Well, when I say that, only because we
Well,
did.
it's a different experience, isn't it?
I have sung at the O2 because we made charity records as Pat and Mick in the 80s and 90s, which we raised £300,000 for, and I did become a pop star.
Amazing.
I've been on Top of the Pops 7 or 8 times as a singer.
Performing?
As a DJ, and performing.
So
as
you
a
were singing? Come on then.
I was miming. I was miming. Yeah, they didn't sing in those days.
Did you
Everything
sing
was miming.
the recording?
No. Nobody ever did. Nobody ever did. They didn't do
you
that.
were
They
just
didn't do it.
miming your song.
Those days, they didn't do that. They used to do it back in the old days. They used to do a version of it,
Yeah.
and then the people would just swap the tapes and give the people the original because it sounded so awful. They would give them the original, and then they would mime to the original.
But the original, did you sing on the original?
Yeah, I went into the
I
studio.
thought you were just like, no, none of it was me. I was just literally like...
All our records were made with Stockacre and Waterman. I went in the studio.
Yeah.
We had people like Kylie and Jason and Rick Astley in there doing
Yeah.
backing vocals and singing on some of our songs.
Oh my God. So tell me some of your songs. Like, what was your favourite of the singles that you released?
Probably the first one, which was Let's All Chant, a cover version of the Michael Zager Band song. We did it 10 years later in 1988. It was out in 78, and I love that song. That's because it's got a lot of oohs in it, and I can do those. Haven't Stopped Dancing Yet was our biggest hit. That was in the top 10, got to number 9.
Oh my goodness.
One of our songs was a hotshot debut in the American Billboard Hot 100, came in above Phil Collins and Sting.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, number 1 in Boston for 8 weeks.
Number 1 in Boston for 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, that's that is definitely a feat that a lot of people haven't achieved.
And when I was recording these songs, I wasn't a particularly good singer, as I told you earlier.
Yeah.
So what would happen would be is that Pete Waterman would come in, and I'd have my headphones on, like one headphone on here, and then the other one off here, like Live Aid, you know. So I'm going like, thinking, wow, I sound amazing. And then he would say, come in here a sec. So he'd come in and he'd press all these buttons, and it would just be just me. And I go, oh, it's not so good without all the other stuff around it, is it? All the music and other things. So he used to say, he goes, can you stand back away from the mic a little bit, you know? So I said, well, how far? And he went, how about Edinburgh? But I was not good as a singer. So Mick from Pat and Mick did most of the singing. He was a better singer than me, and still is. And but we did raise a lot of money for charity because it was all for Help a London Child for Capital Radio's charity, and we raised over 300 grand.
Amazing. So you left school and you went straight into your mobile disco.
Yep.
Was that something that...
I need to give you the name of the mobile disco.
Come on in.
Gary from the Shoes. It was Gary.
Yeah.
And Paddy, because I was Paddy then, not
Yeah.
Paddy. Gary and Paddy's Hit Connection. But wait for it. CONNEXION.
Oh.
Yeah, on the card.
Oh,
so when we gave that out, people went, wow, connection. It was American. Well, it wasn't really American because they spell connection the same as us. But it was my style of American. CONNEXION. I thought that is going to get us some gigs.
Yeah. And did it?
I got a few. Yeah, I did quite a lot of gigs. But we were cheap. We were 25 quid a night.
Nice.
And you know, Gaz used to always like cop off with the wife or something.
Excellent.
They always liked Gaz because he wore a cowboy hat and he had the limp because of the one shoe.
So you feel like you're not a badly behaved human, but you live vicariously through the people that you surround yourself by.
You've got it. And I was only really keen on, like, you know, going out and buying all the records and having every record for that weekend and buying a new light and getting a strobe and making sure I had my soldering kit with me. And Gaz was just going, what's the wife like?
Brilliant. So what was the track that you knew would always be an absolute banger with Paddy and Gaz? You'd be like, right, this is it.
Okay.
It's the pinnacle track.
It was great because it starts with a countdown. It goes 10, 9, and goes all the way to 1, and then kicks in. And that was always our first song. And it was Dan Hartman, Instant Replay.
Okay.
Instant Replay, I got your number.
And everyone would just be like, yeah, DJs have started.
No, I can remember putting on our first ever gig and just like having everything turn up full and going, this is it, here we go, Gaz. And of course I had to put the needle on and it went around and I was going, hi, good evening. And then I hadn't quite got to the bit where it said 10, so I went, good evening. And then it went 10, 9. And I remember people we were only in a little room and then people just went, oh, why is it so loud? And I went, this is it, my career, this is it, I'm off. And people went, can you turn it down a bit? So it was a bit of a Partridge moment, but it had a countdown built into it. So for me, that was an intro, you know?
Done, yeah, fine. So you've had a very fun and varied career doing loads of stuff. So we're going to go on a bit of a whistle-stop tour. So you were at your mobile disco, you get your gig as a DJ on the radio. When does that happen?
I'm really lucky. I get a break by an agent who is interested in taking me on. So I make a demo and he thinks it's great, and via somebody at a mobile disco says I can get you in touch with someone. And this agent looks after a lot of the Radio 1 DJs, and he's a cool manager, literally. He looks after all the big names who I know and admire. And within 3 or 4 months of being on his books, he calls me into his office, and there's a woman in there as well called Doreen Davis. And he said, this is Doreen. She's the one of the chief executives at Radio 1, and you're going to sit in for Steve Wright next week and do his show.
Amazing.
And I went, wow. And I'm only 20, and I've never been on the radio. I've only done mobile discos, but I've never been on the air. So I had a few days practice, and then I covered Steve Wright's afternoon show.
That's a big gig. How did Gaz feel about that, being left behind?
Well, he was okay. He was still with all the housewives.
Right, okay, fine.
Yeah, plenty of women on the go.
So, what was the first song you played on the radio when you got your big break?
I'll always remember that, obviously. My first ever song on the radio was by a band called TOTO COELO, and it's called I Eat Cannibals.
I Eat Cannibals?
Yeah.
Do you know that song?
Never.
Should we play it?
Yeah, you
Is
should
it worth
do.
playing?
Yeah, you should do.
Let's have a listen to I Eat
I'll give you an ID.
Cannibals.
It goes, I eat cannibals, it's incredible. And they all look like they're sort of like prehistoric. They look like they're from the Flintstones with sort of, you know, shredded shirts all coming off them and very...
I Eat Cannibals, here we go.
So it's got a bit of an intro to it.
This looks super late 70s.
82.
82.
I can even hit the vocals for you.
Do it.
I'm quite into it.
You ready?
Yeah.
So this would have been my first song. I didn't speak over the intro at the time, but if I was going to, I would have stopped singing around now.
So, at what point did you, so you were DJing, getting all these amazing gigs, at what point was it like the transition into telly? Was it a bit of Top of the Pops from doing the radioing, and then they kind of, people saw you and were like, oh, there's this show happening?
Well, yes, you're right. We were lucky being Radio 1 DJs. I was there for 9 months in total after the Steve Wright show, and I did Top of the Pops 4 or 5 times. So that gave me some telly experience. But then the audition for Funhouse came along. You know.
So how did you get that audition? What happened there?
Well, my agent
They
said...
contacted you?
My agent, yeah.
Right.
Michael Cohen, who was my agent for 30 years, was the guy who got me that audition and said, you know, I think you'd be good for kids' TV. And I went up to Scotland and did an audition.
How old were you when you first started Funhouse?
Funhouse, I would have been 26.
26, yeah.
I went to Scotland, and I remember being picked up at the airport, going into this studio where the Funhouse already existed. It was there, and I had to do an audition. And I did it in a way that I knew would work because I did it in a DJ way. I was saying things like, I didn't just go on and say, right, there's 3 fun-filled games which will be followed by the go-kart Grand Prix. And then I went on and went, it's Friday, the weekend starts here. And I went on as a bright DJ, which is what I was in my 20s. And I flung my long hair around, and I just, you know, and I just went on and it was me and shouted about it being the weekend and the brightest, most colourful, bouncy kid show you could imagine. And that's how I got the job, because I enthused so much about it. And I learnt the format of the games. I watched the video of the American version, and I knew what I was doing when I got there.
And you were there with your locks.
Yeah.
I mean, are we going to talk about the locks?
We can talk about it, whatever you want.
I think we've spoken about this in the past, and you said it was from Sweden. You were
Norway, from where Monica was, from when I was doing Sky Channel. So I would be going and doing gigs, and I would go and see these Viking guys in Norway and Sweden and all over Scandinavia. And I would quite like the look of them. They were all quite tanned and quite handsome and had long blonde hair. And I thought, well, that's a nice look.
Yeah.
And I think I'll just grow my hair a little bit longer and a bit longer and a bit longer. And then it became a bird's nest.
And your trademark, basically, for a really long time. How long did you have?
Not all that long. I would say probably from about 80, 86, 87, certainly until about 93 or so.
I mean, that's a while. That is a while.
It is a while for something that looked like that, yeah. You would have thought I would have realised halfway through, wouldn't you?
So if we were going to give a song to your beautiful flowing mullet, what song would it be?
Gosh, for my mullet?
Yeah, I mean, did it have a name? Was it like, you know... Was it even a thing?
I don't know if it had a name.
Were you like, oh yeah, got my like, you know, Samson kind of locks going on and...
Wow, well, if it's going to be Samson, let's do Delilah by Tom Jones.
Amazing.
Because I've lost my strength. No, it's cut.
Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Delilah by Tom Jones is the perfect song for your mullet.
It is.
Amazing.
I never had one, so thank you for helping me.
You're welcome. And it's called Samson now, obviously.
It is.
We've named the mullet and given it a song.
Beautiful.
It's like, a poignant moment. So, Funhouse, you were there for 12 years?
Yeah, I think we did. I think it was 10 in total, but it felt like 12. So, whatever. It was more than a decade from the point of view that this year, in 2019, now, and in fact next month, because it's January now, as you know, we're sitting here, but February 2019, Funhouse is 30. It was 30 years since it was first shown.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
It was shown in February 89. But it was made, I think, in August 88.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, no, most people don't believe this, it's quite interesting. Funhouse was only, for me, 1 week a year's work.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, as an 80s kid who used to watch Funhouse and was like, yeah, I want to go on Funhouse, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I felt like it was like a big part of my memory of watching
Everybody
TV as a
is
kid.
like that,
It was on every day.
Yeah, everybody feels that way. So we would go to Scotland for a week, and in that week, being 7 days, not 5, because it included a weekend, we would record 2 shows per day. And that would be 14 shows, which is 14 weeks. That's 3.5 months.
And I suppose the house, was it like a big thing that the structure was there, or was it taken down in between? And it was like...
It would be taken down, obviously, afterwards, and the studio would be used for Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, right, okay. Did you have any, like, kids that did anything really awful? Like, did any kid ever, like, shit his pants or, like, puke or... There
were lots of kids got winded, had to go to hospital, and we would stand there next to them going, so, well done, you got 25 points. The kid would go... I was going, just smile, we need to get this in a can. It was not very acceptable.
Get away with it in the 80s.
The gunge that was made,
What was it made of?
Well, I don't know. The stagehands used to just stir it out the back with an old wooden stick, and splinters used to come off it. And I think they peed in it as well.
Oh.
It was not health and safety as you know it.
Amazing.
Seriously, stagehands are all these tough Glaswegian blokes, and they could see all these little kids dressed in their yellow and red going like this with the pond. They go, "Oh, look at those Southern Jessies. Let's give them something to think about." You know? So I think there was a bit of wee in there as well.
Oh my God.
Sorry, kids. Well, it's beyond my control.
Just, here we are, Sandra Crisell ruining your childhood memories.
This is going to get in the mail online now.
Hopefully.
But it's all right, they'll spell it wrong.
So, is there a particular track that you would attribute to your time at Funhouse that you think, oh...
Yeah, the Funhouse theme tune.
Funhouse.
It's a whole lot of fun. Prizes to be won. It's a real wacky show where anything goes.
Yeah, the best.
Yeah.
And the twins, obviously, still mates to this day, I'm assuming.
Very much so. A lot of people say to me, like, "Hello, mate, all right? Yeah, where's the twins?" Yeah,
Where's the twins? Yeah.
So I always go, they go, where's the twins? If I do a gig, where's the twins? I go, oh, they're in the boot. And they go, oh, right. I go, did you shag them? I go, yeah, and their mother. But I didn't. So it's really disappointing for people when I say I didn't.
They're just your mates.
Yeah. I mean, the funniest thing about it is I had to this day, a really nice relationship with Melanie and Martina. They're lovely girls. They're 10 years younger than me. When they started, they were 16, and they had a chaperone with them to look after them. And they'd appeared on stage in Annie, and they went on to be, they appeared as hookers in the first Batman movie with Michael Keaton.
Is that true? I did not know that.
Only briefly in a passing shot through the train station before his parents are killed.
Wow.
So yeah, they said Funhouse twins are prostitutes. It went in the paper like that.
Right. Yeah.
So, but no, they're lovely girls, and we get on great, and you know, we're good pals to this day. They got nice families, and they're nice.
All right. So after Funhouse, then what's next? So we're now in mid-90s.
Yep. Well, Funhouse ended in 2000.
Did in 2000?
Yeah. It ran from 89 to 2000. It was on in 2000.
It was still on in 2000?
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. So, after Funhouse, we're now at the year 2000.
Yep.
What's Pat doing?
I'm working at Heart, doing the mid-morning show.
Of course, Heart, you were at Heart for a long time, weren't you?
I was at Heart for about 8 years. I took my mid-morning show from Capital and then took it to Heart, and it was #1 on both stations, so I did good. And then I moved from Heart and went to, ended up working at Smooth, and sort of did the I suppose, not the downhill spiral, but certainly moving to stations that more suited my age.
Sure. Yeah. So, quick fire round. These are going to be quick, snappy answers.
And fire.
Songs and fire. Okay, go. What song is guaranteed to put you in a good mood?
Guaranteed to put me in a good mood. Beach Baby by The First Class. Early 70s. Beach baby, give me a hand. Give me something that I can remember.
Still don't know. Okay. Do you have a song lyric that you ever got wrong or misunderstood?
Yes. Shania Twain, that don't impress me much, when she says, I can't believe you kiss your car goodnight.
Yeah.
It sounds like I can't believe you kiss your cock at night.
Yeah, I suppose it does.
I can't believe you kiss your cock at night. See? See?
To be fair, if you can reach, mate, why not? That's what I say. So, what song irritates the hell out of you? There must be one that you don't want to play.
Yeah, I would say it's the one that kept the fantastic song by Ultravox, Vienna, off the top of the charts.
Right.
Vienna's a great song. I work with Midge a lot. Every summer I introduce him at Let's Rock festivals, and it's an amazing song, Vienna, as you know, but it was only ever a #2 because the #1 song at the time was Shut Up in Your Face by Joe Dolce.
What's the matter, you? Hey,
why did we? You know, Britain loved a novelty record back then, and now a novelty record would never be a hit now.
Mate, we had Greg's Christmas #1 was the Greg's Sausage Roll song.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't follow the charts. So I did hear that. Really?
Yeah. So, what is there an artist that you think deserves more recognition?
Now that one I'm not too sure about because I don't.
You can say no.
No, it's a no because I don't really know too many artists these days. I don't really follow new music all that much. It could be
deserved. It could be someone that you liked and you thought, I don't know why they didn't end up being a bit more of a star.
Can't think of one.
That's
Sorry.
fine. What was your first dance?
Now that is an awful record.
That's fine.
It's by Nana Mouskouri. She's a Greek bird with glasses.
Yeah, she's really cool looking. Yeah, I know who she is.
Yeah, it's quite cool.
Was it a Greek song?
No, it was called Only Love, I think. Only Love. That's just a bit rubbish. If I was getting married again now, I think we'd go much cooler.
Are you going to renew your vows? How long have you been married for?
Oh, only 33 years. It may not last.
35 is a good time to renew them vows. What was your breakup track?
Gosh.
Was there one that you were like, I feel sad, this is like my emo?
When I did break up with, say, girlfriends at the time, back in the sort of 70s, before I was married, I'm so old, it would have been something like Lobo, he's the singer, and it's called I'd Love You to Want Me. And it's quite a sad song. It's the song that Westlife never covered and should have done, because they did a few covers and that would have been an amazing cover for them.
Okay.
And it starts with, and I saw her standing there, about fell out my chair, and when you move your mouth to speak, I felt the blood rush to my feet.
I feel like I know this song. I feel like I recognise
and it
his
took
lyrics.
time for me to know what you tried so not to show. Baby, I'd love you to want me the way that I want you, the way that it could be. It's nice.
Yeah, I know it. I know it.
It's good. It's enough to make anyone break up, me singing it.
Is there a song that can make you cry?
Yes. Michael Jackson, One Day in Your Life.
Oh.
Remember hearing that, driving around on the day when Princess Diana had died, and everyone was sad about that. And then I heard this song, One Day in Your Life, and I just remember crying over it. Because it's a really sad song as well. It goes, one day in your life you remember a place, someone watching your face, and it's just like, oh.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Yeah.
Do you have a motivational song for like working out or getting yourself hyped up for a gig? Is there something that you know?
Yeah, there's a really good version of Country Roads by the Hermes House Band.
Okay.
And I play it at all my gigs, and it's one which goes, it's got like really good interaction in the middle, so it goes la la la, hey hey, na na na, hey hey, na na na, hey hey, na na na, country roads, take me home. You don't have to do the shaking of the face, but
I enjoyed the shaking in the face, to be fair.
It's a bit weird.
That's my favourite bit, so.
Maybe I could start a freak show. I could be in The Greatest Showman too.
Who's your ultimate music icon?
Bryan Adams.
Yeah, you said you love Bryan Adams.
Yeah.
Favourite song?
Do I have to say the words, which is not that well known, but was a single.
I do like Bryan Adams.
But it is great. I've seen him about 35 times, going again next month.
Super fan.
Yeah,
Does
really.
he know you?
I've interviewed him, yeah, I've met him, yeah.
Did you get starstruck? Were you a bit like...
Yeah, I get starstruck with
you.
loads of people. He wouldn't
Really?
he wouldn't remember me from Adam, but at the end of the day, you know what, he's great, because I can remember seeing him at Wembley Stadium, and I'd seen all these pop bands and rock bands and all sorts of bands who come out and do this sort of big show and everything. And he just comes out, walks out, white t-shirt, blue jeans, puts his guitar on, and just goes, din, 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 din. And it's just like, there's no airs and graces.
Yeah.
And he just starts with, you know, put on your best dress, darling, and there'll never be another tonight. And you just think, wow. And there's no like, oh, hello, it's me, welcome to my show.
So who else have you been starstruck by? Who would you be most starstruck by?
I met David Bowie. Yeah. I met David Bowie and shook his hands at the Nordhoff Robbins lunch when he won an award.
Oh my God, when?
Yeah. Gosh, must have been when I was at Heart, probably 2002.
Oh my God. That's like my ultimate.
Yeah.
Just like massive Bowie fan.
Yeah, I mean that was
Was he
great.
amazing, though?
Yeah, it was the same day that I had a little a wag of the finger from Victoria Beckham to come over to her.
Mate, that's a good day.
So she beckoned me over, yeah. So I met David Bowie, and then Posh went like this to me, and I thought, well, I can either go over or I can sit here and just like tell her to piss off. So I went over.
Good option, yeah, good choice.
So next to her, obviously, was David. And he had his big curtains at the time, and this was when Posh was way more famous than him.
Yeah.
And he was next to her, and she just said to me, she goes, I just wanted to say that I heard you on the radio this morning, you mentioned my autobiography, Learning to Fly. I went, yeah. She goes, and I wanted to say, and while she was talking to me like that, he was here, going like this. But I ignored him, I just kept looking at her like this, and I ignored him. So she goes, I wanted to say that you mentioned my book. And I just wanted to thank you for not making a joke about me being thin or David being stupid or anything like everybody does.
Yeah.
So I went, well, I probably couldn't think of a punchline. So she laughed and told me I was quite funny.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, he's still going like this. So I went, who's your friend?
Oh no!
So the England captain replied, hello, I love Funhouse. And I went, that's weird.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. It was just quite funny. He was just super nice, and they were getting all the attention. They had all these people around them, and you weren't really allowed to go up to them. But I was summoned, so I went.
Yeah. So Favourite Bowie song as well. We've got to get a Bowie song in there if you met Dave.
Okay.
Big D.
Yeah. Well, there's too many to choose from with David Bowie, so I would go a few.
The first one you can think of.
Okay. Well, it's very tricky, so I would go Suffragette City.
Yes.
But I love Genie, I love Drive-In Saturday, I love Life on Mars, probably.
Yeah, Life
more.
on Mars is amazing.
Yeah.
They're all amazing.
Probably Life on Mars, to be honest with you.
Okay, we got Life on Mars is going on the playlist then. All right. Favourite Christmas song?
It's by Gilbert O'Sullivan.
Right.
And it's called, I don't know what, I think it might just be called White Christmas, but he sings, I'm not dreaming of a white Christmas. I'm not dreaming of a white Christmas. All I'm dreaming of the whole day long is a peaceful one.
Aww.
And it's really nice, and it's hardly played at all.
Yeah, I don't think I know it.
You know, it's not your standard sort of Mariah, Slade, or Wizard ones. It's but those are the ones I would play at a gig.
Yeah.
But it's a lovely ballad, yeah.
Oh, nice.
And Gilbert O'Sullivan is very underrated for being a fantastic lyricist. He's an amazing writer. And
So he's an underrated artist that you
Yes.
think deserves more recognition.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Tick, tick. Fine.
I'm back to that box.
Yeah, good. All right. What song would you like played at your funeral?
Music by John Miles.
Oh, no, that's Children.
That's Robert Miles.
That's completely wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. We're going to have to play it.
Oh, you'll love it. Yeah. Oh. Oh.
It's got that sort of vibe.
And here he comes.
Is this like when the little curtains are shutting?
And I'm about to be burnt.
Everyone's crying.
Looks like the curtain's behind you.
Yeah, exactly.
I want a big sign saying I told you I was ill. Or pull yourself together with the curtains.
All right, good choice. All right. So,
It's longer than that, by the way. 5 minutes. You're in for the long haul.
Right. Last question. Who do you think we should have next on Soundtrack? Who would you like to have on the sofa with me telling us all their musical memories?
Gosh, that's an interesting one. I would probably choose somebody who's got a lovely voice for speaking and is very well known for singing and obviously loves her music and has been around for many years. So I first watched her on Top of the Pops before I even got into the industry, and I've been in the industry pretty much forever. So she was doing it a couple of years before I started.
Okay.
But since then she's become a radio presenter as well as a singer. So I admire her even more because that's what I've obviously done. And that would be Kim Wilde.
Oh, I love Kim Wilde.
Yeah, I work with Kim a lot every summer, all the Let's Rock festivals, and her band's great, and her brother Ricky and her niece Scarlett's in the band.
She's got a gardening column or something, hasn't she?
She's done a lot with gardening, on TV and.
Do you think she'd come and sit and
She might do. I could ask her for you. Yeah.
amazing.
And she has got a
Kim
really lovely tone to her voice when she does radio. She sounds wonderful. She's got a beautiful speaking voice as well, and she
obviously had a couple of tracks out as well. What was her? Is it
Kids in America.
Kids in America.
Yeah, and Checkered Love and
Yeah.
Cambodia, and she's just had a new album out, which is really good.
Oh, amazing!
Yeah, so Kim Wilde would be great on your sofa, I think.
Get Kim Wilde on the sofa. We have a little present for you.
You do?
We do. Here we go. Here is your gift.
Oh wow! Look at that! How nice is that? And it is Walking Back to Happiness.
Oh.
If you got it wrong, you wouldn't have got the gift.
Really? That's amazing. That is beautiful.
Oh.
Pat Sharp, born 25th of October, 61. So that was my record. Oh, look
That's
at
your
that.
record.
I love that.
And this is the soundtrack to your soul.
And the soundtrack to my life.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you, Bella.
And thank you so
Luke.
much. So that was it. That was the soundtrack to your soul. Thanks so much for coming. And if you like, make sure you subscribe on the button. Thanks, Pat.
Thank you, Bella. Thank you, Luke.
Let's hug it out. Let's hug it out. Oh, yes. And kisses too. Amazing. Ta-da!